If it's easy, go and have your own child first before you scold other people's children. Barren woman, the woman cursed at Sira. Her words pierced Sira's heart like a sharp knife. It was now an everyday norm for her to be insulted. She could not go anywhere in the town without people accusing her of being a witch. This was her 8th year in her marriage without the fruit of a womb. Her husband's people have pressured her, and her husband wasn't even helping matters. He had even threatened severally to marry a second wife. Sira could not understand what was wrong with her. She has visited the hospital, prayed, fasted, yet there was no result. When she got home that evening, her husband brought up the discussion about taking a second wife again, informing her that he was going to perform the marriage rites the following week. That night, Sira could not sleep and cried throughout. After about 2 weeks, her husband brought in a young woman with a 2-year-old daughter. Turned out her husband was cheating on her since 2 years ago, or even much more. The betrayal was too much for Sira to handle. She considered divorce, but her mother frowned at it, saying it will bring more embarrassment and shame to their family. Her husband's new wife, like others, insulted and cursed Sira. Anytime she reports to her husband, he always asked her to ignore it. Sira was tired and decided to follow her friend's advice. In the middle of the night, she visited the river goddess and begged for the fruit of a womb. She promised to give the river goddess whatsoever she wanted or demanded. Sira took in, and 9 months later gave birth to a cute son. Her husband was overjoyed and showered her with love, attention, and gifts. Sira felt like a woman again. Her son grew up gracefully and was loved by all. Her in-laws started treating her with love and respect. The second wife became so envious and jealous. As the 5th birthday of her son approached, Sira began to plan how to kill her husband, which was what the river goddess demanded in exchange for her son's life. It was a tough decision to make, but Sira knew she'd rather become a widow than face the humiliation of not having a child again. One evening, as her co-wife served her husband's food, she went to call him. Sira secretly added the poison the river goddess gave her to the food without anyone noticing. The next morning, her husband passed away, and after the cause of the death was determined, her husband's people accused the second wife and sent her and her daughter away. The second wife pleaded, but no one listened to her. No one suspected Sira, as she was always found crying and mourning the husband. More so, it was not her food that the poison was found in. Before the second wife left, she rained heavy curses on the person that framed her. Sira was not bothered, as she had the river goddess back up, or so she thought. About a month after the burial, Sira began to have strange dreams of being chased by ghosts. She brushed it off at first, but as it got worse, she visited the river goddess, who asked her to perform some rituals. After the rituals, the dream stopped, but came back after a week. Sira started hallucinating as well. Slowly, she was losing her mind. She went back to the river goddess, who asked her to sacrifice her mother in exchange for her life and that of her son. At first, Sira was reluctant, but she has come too far to give up now. The following week, Sira's mother passed away, and no one could tell the cause of the death. The nightmare stopped completely. Sira continued her life with her son, who was growing well. On the son's 10th birthday anniversary, he became very sick and slipped into a coma. No medical condition could revive him, so Sira ran back to the river goddess, who informed her that it is the boy's fate to die at that age, and the only way she can save him is to bring a boy of similar age as an exchange for her son's life. At this point, Sarah was obsessed and had no conscience left in her anymore. If she could sacrifice her husband and her mother, who was a random boy, she wouldn't sacrifice. Without any hesitation, Sarah secretly brought her neighbor's 10 years old son by luring him with some food. The neighbor was part of the people that mocked her when she was barren, so she had no remorse. Unknown to her, her neighbor's father was a spiritualist. When the neighbor complained to her father about the death of her son, the dad looked into the mirror and saw Sira taking the boy's soul away. He was furious and vowed to make her pay. Slowly, Sira started losing her mind. She ran mad a few weeks later and was on every street of the town confessing all the bad things she had done. The people in that town were shocked and cursed her even more. She was indeed a witch they suspected her to be. Sira and her son were sent to the evil forest to be devoured. Sira faced a terrible fate. In her quest for a child, she became a monster. Indeed, the devil never gives anything for free.